Podcasting is networking. Café and Networking Podcast promotes entrepreneurs, business experts throughout the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people and speaking from my studio in Brazil. Today we talk with Victor Manzo, and he's joining us from Knoxville, Tennessee. Victor is a business mindset coach, certified pediatric chiropractor, holistic practitioner, author, podcaster, and speaker. The author of 2 books, Rediscover Your Greatness and A Walk in the Dark. He helps business owners get truly clear on what they want to create in business and life. So, Victor, why is the darkness our greatest ally?
The darkness is our greatest ally because, in the dark is really where we get to see what we have within us. You can't, if you think of ourselves as like a soul or the light essence of what we have, a candle light is not, if you think about one single flame on a candle in a well-lit room, you can't really see the power of it or what it can provide for us and so forth. But if you take that exact same candle and you put it in a pitch black room, you can actually see the power of that one light and what it can do. And so the darkness, it's like digging deep, and it shows us what we need to work on or what are stuff that our inner strength. A lot of times people ask, hey, God, please give me strength, give me strength. God's not going to give you strength. What it's going to do is give you situations and circumstances to help you build your strength. That's going to the dark. And that could be a challenge, an obstacle, a hard time. Those are all things designed for us to help us grow and evolve in what we need. That's what's the beauty about the dark, right? You can hear some about, oh, this great book's absolutely amazing. You go read this book and you're like, okay, great. Yeah. You're thinking from the head. The universe, God, Allah, whatever you want to call it, that will provide you what you actually need in this moment to level up to where you want to go. And that's why the darkness, it's not there to harm us. It's not there to do anything, but just to help us level up in our life to where we want to go.
I agree with you, because sometimes the comfort comes from just closing our eyes and being in the dark, because with just even one candlelight, there's so much distraction.
Exactly. And when you think about it from, you brought up the word comfort, and I love that, because comfort is what levels us and doesn't allow us to grow, expand, and evolve. And the darkness always keeps challenging, keeping that cycle to break us out of our comfort so we can stretch, so we can get to these things that we want to actually achieve, because we're kind of leading the way in that.
Why don't confuse comfort with relaxing? Because sometimes we're just so energized, we're just so involved in everything. We don't give time for ourselves or our brain even to relax.
Yeah, especially in today's era, it's one of those things where we do not take time to disconnect.
Right.
And this is what got me to become a business mindset coach, because I got tired of hearing the same rhetoric in self-help, personal development, and even entrepreneurial leadership stuff, where it's always about like, you got to outwork your competition. You don't sleep less. Arnold Schwarzenegger will be telling you sleep less to be more successful. It's like, you got to grind, you have to hustle, you got to do all these things. And I'm not saying about hard work. I grew up with hard work, so I know what hard work is. But it's one of those things where there's a balance, and being a chiropractor and understanding the neuroscience of peak performance and all the beautiful science that comes with the brain, it's one of those things where we need time off. Not only just from a performance, even a spirituality perspective.
Right.
We need more of that.
Right.
So yeah, I'm 100% with you on that.
Yeah, we hear, the early bird catches the worm, but that sort of sobrevivential, the bird is out there to survive. I'm not sure if birds relax, but in our life and as business persons, we really do have to separate all that time that we're involved, because it's 24/7, but we can't be engaged 24/7. We shouldn't be engaged 24/7.
Yeah, you got me curious now to see who actually said the early bird gets the worm, because there's, it's raining in Knoxville right now, and I'm looking outside and I'm going, it's not like just the sun just came up. The birds, they're surviving. They eat when they can, they eat when they want, they go and eat, and then they do what they do. So it's like, and I used to be that guy, used to follow that advice, 4 a.m, getting up, do what I have to do and all that. And it took me a while to realize, like, I don't need to be up at 4 a.m. I can get up at 7. That's fine. I'll still get everything I need to get done. And I do. And actually, it's been way more beneficial for my health. So there we go.
And so back to that. So the mindset that you offer to people and you speak about, it's not just the mind, it's the whole entity.
It is, because I work on a full aspect, and comes from my background being a holistic practitioner, because we look at, as a chiropractor, we look at everything. We don't just look at one thing. And so same thing happens here. The mind is the main focus of what I look at, because that's what creates everything, in essence. If you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to do anything. I mean, it's the thing that projects. I always say, like, it's like your glasses. How you see the world, how you project, and all this stuff we have been conditioned with, you're having in those glasses. And so if we can leverage and shift that, that's amazing. But then we also work on spiritual truths and things like that, because my main purpose is to create fulfillment in the individual. That's the work I do. And so a lot of times, like, I work with clients, I'll tell them all the time, like, what do you want? What do you want to create? And then they'll tell me, and I'll be like, well, why is that important? Oh, because I want more money. Well, why is that important? Because then I can provide for my family and do this. Okay, that's good stuff, but let's get deeper. What does it give you? Where's the emotions? Because what they're telling me is the same stuff they've been told, has been passed down and been conditioned over time. Most people don't really know what they want, because we just think we know what we want. Like, I want more money. I want a big house. I want a nice car. I want to have this much stuff. Well, what does all that mean to you? And
we're driven by what others say, what we need and what we should be. And back to the darkness, just closing our eyes, or, putting out the candle and thinking about that, the essence of life, why we're here. It's existential, really. And we get to that point, what am I doing here?
And that's the fulfillment. That's the stuff I love working on with people, is to get to that point, because we've been so shut off from it. We've been so in the hedonic wheel of just continually doing the same thing over and over and over again. And it's like, no. Let's create life the way you want it to be created, on your terms. And let's do that, and maybe it's not the money you actually want. And I work with clients, and it's funny, they wanted to have a 7-figure business. And then as 6 months into coaching, they're like, I don't really care about the 7-figure business anymore. What I care about is these things.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, when they focus on what they really want, the 7-figure business comes.
Right.
And they're like, how did that? And I'm like, because you focused on what really was important to you, and your energy's higher. When your energy's higher, everything starts to happen a little faster, and so forth.
So for our listeners, they can find more on Rediscover Your Greatness, one of the books, and A Walk in the Dark, correct?
Yeah, you can find it anywhere on Amazon, Audible, all that good stuff.
And where else can they find you, Victor?
My website's the greatest to find me, empoweryourreality.com. I have a bunch of freebies up on there. And if you scroll to the bottom, you can find all my social handles. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. Those are the main 4 I play at.
Very good. So thanks for your time, and thanks for sharing with us today.
I appreciate having me on. Thank you so much.
And for our listeners, again, Victor Manzo, it's Victor. The last name is Manzo. LinkedIn, and his site, empoweryourreality.com. Empoweryourreality.com. Find more of those resources that he mentioned. Café and Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information on their website, focusmi.com. Thanks for listening. Until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.